Okay, we're back on my LinkedIn profile from the last video, and you will see that I have actually went out and started to request connections with other groups that deal with recruiting. So I've got several groups that deal with recruiting. One of the things that I'm learning is that some of my groups have nothing to do with recruiting, and I may need to exit out of those groups, and you'll see why here in a few short seconds. So I've got my groups. So the next thing that you'll need to do, and we're going to assume that I've got 50 groups. I've got 46 right now, but I've got 50, and all 50 of them are related to recruiting in some sort of fashion. So the next thing that you want to do is you'll want to come up here to the search box. You want to change this from groups to people. And then once you change that to people, we're going to want to do an advanced search. So we'll click on advanced. Once we do this advanced search, there's a couple of things that are key here. And one of the things that is very key is under this box here, you'll see groups. And what it does is it automatically checks all of your groups. Now, if you wanted to be able to select individual groups, you would actually have to pay for the LinkedIn feature that gave you that option of checking specific groups. One of the nice things that we can do, however, is we can search on group members, our relationship by group members. So I'm going to only look at people who I'm related to in my group. Now, by selecting all of your groups, this would not be a bad thing if every one of the groups that you joined had something to do with your background, your industry background. And that was the thing with me. I've joined Gmail users and Black Dot data processors. So many of the groups that I belong to have nothing to do with recruiting. So this strategy is going to be sort of skewed a little bit. Okay, so I've selected my group members here. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to think about the title of the person that I would be reporting to. So in my case, that title would be recruiting manager. And I'm looking for someone who currently has that title. So I'm going to select current. And remember, we're just looking at the groups, people from those groups. The other thing is that I only want to look at jobs that are in my local area. So I do located in or near, and I put my zip code within a 50-mile radius of my zip code. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to be thinking about where you want to work as well as who you would report to. So in my case, recruiting manager. I'm now going to conduct a search. Now, from that search, you will see that I have 45 results from that search. These are 45 people who are in the Atlanta area who are currently recruiting managers. Now, many of these people I'm connected to on the first degree. So this is not a good example if you're connected on the first degree, because I would already have their contact information. However, let's take a look at this gentleman. I'm connected to him within 2 degrees, so I would not necessarily have his email address. However, because he and I share a group, you guys see where it says shared group, because he and I share a group, I still get an opportunity to send him a message. So all I have to do is click on send message, and then I can email him directly. So I don't have to send my message to a third-party person or to the middle person who will then forward it over to the person that I'm connected to. If you've ever tried to send messages on LinkedIn, you know that can be frustrating, because whoever you forward the message to, you're hoping that they will pass that message on to the next person. So in this case, because we're in the same group, I can send him a message directly. Now, the interesting thing in the next video that I will teach and train on is that I'm not going to be sending him my resume, and I'm not going to ask him to look at my profile. This is very, very key, and I'll reserve that for the next video, what type of message you should send when you send a message to this individual. So we'll back up and hit our back button. And again, I found 45 results here. And these are people in the Atlanta area. So if I go back one more, if I go back and I decided that I wanted to look up anywhere, so you're not, you really don't care, let's just say within the United States, and let's run that search, you'll see that now I go from 45 to 7,800 results here. So I've got 7,800 recruiting managers now that I can contact if I don't have a preference as it relates to where I should be looking for a job, looking for an opportunity. Okay. Now that was me using recruiting manager as the title. If I go back to my results, or you can go right here and change this to, let's just say, VP of recruiting. And that's their current title. And let's say that I want to do within the Atlanta area, 50-mile radius, and I'll run my search. Let's take a look at what results I get from that. So there's an additional 17 results. So these are going to be people who have titles VP of recruiting. Okay, so we'll see that these are currently people with VP of recruiting in their title, and that would be an additional 17 results here in the Atlanta area of people who I would reach out to about job opportunities. And remember, these are people that I would be working for. I would expect to work for the VP of recruiting or a recruiting manager. That would be who I would report to. So in your industry, you have to figure out who is it that you're going to be reporting to. What title would they have? Those are the individuals that have the hiring decision. They're the ones that make the hiring decision. And so we're going to be sending them emails directly to them via LinkedIn. So we don't have to necessarily go through the recruiter or go through HR. We're going to go directly to the hiring manager for our job. And in this example, I'm looking at VPs of recruiting because I'm a recruiter. If you were a salesperson, you might go to the VP of sales, or you might go to the district sales manager. That might be those titles that you would look for if you were in sales. So think about the titles of the people who you would work for and do this particular search. This is Otis Carr. You're signing off. In the next video, I will show you exactly what type of email message to send.